My name is Philip Paynter, and my spirit name is Pimatiziwin Maigan Ndutem. I would like to share with you my experience and how I became a traditional person, how I avoided getting involved with the world of drugs and alcohol. I went to this group that my wife was involved with, and it was at first kind of a scary experience because I didn't know who they were. But as time went on, I got to trust them and wanted to learn about traditional life. And they wanted to share the teaching that helped me to get on the road. After the great flood, first man was told that he had to travel and to name all of creation. And so he named all the lakes, rivers, trees, plants, the animals. And he noted that for every living thing, there was a male and a female. And he realized that he was all by himself. So he wanted a partner to talk to share things with. So the next time he met with the Creator, he asked the Creator, for every animal that I come across, every plant, there is a male and a female, but here I am walking alone. I want a partner to walk with. So the Creator told him, I will give you a partner to walk with. And so he gave him the wolf to walk with. So together they went all over Mother Earth and named all the valleys, all of creation. And when they had completed their work, again they called on the Creator, and they told him that they had completed their work. So the Creator told them that they must now part ways, and they must never again, walk together. That is why today we don't see the wolf come around where we live, and also the dog, because the dog is related to the wolf. We don't have them come around our ceremony. A naming ceremony, we are doing the work that first man had done. That work is a very powerful ceremony. There was one time when we were in Minneapolis, and I was the firekeeper, and this man came to the ceremony. Oh, there were lots of people in that ceremony, but he asked for one person, one Pimatiziwin person to come to the reservation close by. And he said a young boy had passed away, and the family wanted somebody from that ceremony to go and share some words with the family. So everybody was too busy to take the time to go and see that family. So I volunteered to go, and my assistant kept the fire. When I got to the family home, there were quite a few family members, coming to the wake. So I asked if that little boy had a spirit name, and they said no. But at one time, before that summer, there was a naming ceremony in East Sagkeeng, and I didn't give spirit names at that time. But it just so happened that we were all called by our teacher Herman to come and take part in the naming ceremony. And Dan Thomas was giving the name. So out of curiosity, I wanted to find out what the name was going to be. So I wanted a peek to see if I could see that name. So I offered tobacco to the fire, and I asked to let me have a glimpse of that name. So I did, and when I went inside the sweat lodge and they closed the doorway, there were these grandfathers, they were just red hot. And as the ceremony was starting, I saw this miniature Santa Claus come out of the grandfather rocks. And I was thinking, boy, this is going to be something. This person is going to get a name, Santa Claus. So I was curious, but when the name was given, it wasn't Santa Claus. It was something totally different. So I told my friend, his name was Neil Hall. I told him what I saw, and he said, you offered tobacco to receive a name, and you were given that name. Now, he said, you have that name. Somebody's going to come and offer you tobacco to ask you for a name, and that's the one you're going to give. And he said, carry that name, don't forget. That winter when we had our winter ceremony in Minneapolis, I remembered that name. So I told the family that little boy has a name, and this is the name that I had received for somebody that didn't have a spirit name. And Neil had told me, he said, the name is not Santa Claus, but the name is Kiwetanop. Said, the spirit that sits in the north door. Said, that's the name that you were given. So I gave that name to the little boy. He had, even though he had passed away the night before. And I gave medicines to take with him as he was being buried. And about a week later, when I got back to Canada, I received a dream And in that dream, I was walking in Island Park in Port Prairie, and there were these large trees growing all over. And I was walking there, I noticed there was somebody peeking from behind a tree, and I looked, and that head went back behind that tree. So I figured it was just a little kid playing. So I started to walk away again, and again I saw that head pop out. And I stopped and I looked, and again he hid. And then he came running out, ran up to me and jumped into my arms and hugged me and kissed my cheek. And he didn't have to speak. He looked as if he was about 7 years old already. But he said, "It's me. I just came back to tell you I'm okay. And I wanted to thank you for what you did for me." And then he jumped down and ran right into the tree and disappeared. And I could see the spirit name of every person that came there to ask for a name. So that's how I was gifted in finding the spirit names of people who offer tobacco. My mother was my first teacher, and she taught me about kindness, respect for all of creation, that I should never mistreat animals. And I carry those today, and I try to instill that with my grandchildren. And they really enjoy it. They have respect for all of creation. Try to memorize, the words that I show them. But again, English is the language that they know, because it's exposed to them in Winnipeg at Nichimako School. That's where I used to work for 16 years. And what you see here about kindness, honesty, love, wisdom, I share all those teachings with all the students there and the staff. And in doing so, the children there, at one time, they came to me and they said, "Mr. Paynter, my parents, they go out and drink, and they bring friends home, and they have a party at our house. And we have our little brothers and sisters that we have in the house. And we're scared of these people in the party, because they may, abuse us. So we don't want that." So I bought a whole bunch of shells and gave them some sage, matches, and I said, "Take these to your home, smudge, and you pray. Pray for your mother and your father that they will have a safe place for you. And then tell them, if they're going to drink, tell them to drink outside of the home." That's what they did. They would smudge, and they would feast their home, and they would tell their parents not to come home drunk. And the parents, after a while, they came to see me, and they said, "Mr. Paynter, we would like to thank you for making elders out of our children." And a lot of them, they sobered up and stayed that way. Our people, they have to know their history. Like where there's these new people that came told our people that their ways are no good, and their language is no good. They more or less grew up, hating who they were. But today they have to try and understand that there's always somebody that you can approach to help you. There's a man that was in Stony Mountain, that came out of Stony Mountain, and they were giving him synthetic cocaine to help him with his addiction. He went to a priest, psychologist, psychiatrist, you name it. They always gave him some synthetic drug to help him. They said to overcome his addiction. But he said it's just like taking the real thing. I said, okay, I'll help you. I didn't know what else I could have told him. So I took wild mint. So when I smelled that mint when I was walking in the swamp, I offered that mint tobacco, and I said, if I ever come across somebody that needs help with their mind, I want you to help them. I said, in return, I'll present you with this tobacco for taking your life. So I took that mint and I kept it. It's the first sweat lodge that he came to. I made a gallon of mint medicine, and I told him to drink that in 4 days. Drink it for the next 4 days, and in 4 days I would take him to the sweat lodge. So he did, and his first sweat lodge, he was just hanging onto my arm, just like a little kid, just wouldn't let go. So I was using a water drum, and he kept whimpering, just like a brand new baby. You know how a sheep sounds? That's exactly how he sounded. And he said, "Help me, Mr. Paynter, please help me." And finally I touched his back to see, what's wrong with this boy. He was in a fetal position. And you could just feel the foam coming out of his back. It's the toxins were coming out of his body. And so I gave him 1 more gallon of that medicine. And we were using it in the sweat lodge too. And we all drank some. And 4 times we went to the sweat lodge. Second time he came, he was a little bit stronger, but he was still weak. Third time, he was strong. He brought his brother, who was also suffering from an addiction. He told him, "See, this is helping me. You too can help yourself by coming here," he said. And then 4th time that he came, he said, "I did it. I don't have to take that synthetic cocaine anymore." He brought his whole family to witness it. And he said, "I'm free." That's how he did it. That's how he was able to break away from that addiction. But he had a will to want to overcome his addiction. And we have a lot of our people that are doing the same, that are on the same journey. You would have to go back to the teachings of your people, your ancestors, and to learn about your teachings will bring you that healing. My experience was a very positive one. I don't have any desire to drink, nor do I have a desire to do drugs.